All right, good morning, everyone. Futures Brizio here, 10:18 a.m. on Wednesday, January 29th. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Uh, as always, before we get started, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and any questions or comments, leave them down below. So I figured I would do a video this morning, just instead of just a wrap video at night. We'll just take a quick look at what's going on this morning. So first of all, just starting on Forex. So last night, you see it, and you can go back and watch the video I posted last evening. I was talking about the pound USD and the dollar Swiss as being potential setups for trades. And at the time, I was saying with the pound USD, which we're looking at here on the 1 hour chart, this was the line I had drawn on the chart last night. And you can see, I was talking about price bouncing and going higher as we kind of were holding a major structure level. We did have some news this morning back at the 8:30 hour, so a couple of candles ago, which did trigger a little bit of selling, but you can see now price appears to be bouncing back. So it is quite possible that we just saw like a liquidity sweep under these lows, and now we start heading higher. At the moment, I still am holding on to this going higher, although I'm not in any positions at the moment, but I may consider it if this bullish price action continues here that we're seeing now. On the flip side of that, with the dollar Swiss, I was talking about that going down. And so again, this morning we did push up a little bit on the news. And I was talking about all these retail highs swings right here. And you can see we did have one candle break above. This was kind of a breakout candle. And then price, came right back into the range again. So if this holds, obviously I need to see a contrast between pound dollar and US Swiss. They should be doing basically the opposite if the dollar is what's driving it. And, if we go to a shorter time frame here, here's the 15-minute on the dollar Swiss. We have this little minor structural level that led to this high. Price did poke through there temporarily, has pulled back. So I'm basically waiting to see if there's any follow through selling here on this pair. And then potentially that could, be a good short. But as I was saying last night, that these retail highs like there where you see all these equal highs often can be a good trap, a liquidity trap where the larger players will try to poke price through here, which they did right here with a strong bullish candle, pull people into potentially, into a breakout long, only to have it come back into the range again, which appears what's going on right now, but, it's not really confirmed yet. I'd like to see some follow through on this selling. With the pound USD, just the opposite. But we'll see. It's struggling to get any foothold to continue any movement, either up or down. You can see just in the couple minutes I've been talking, the pound USD has pushed up and now has come back down again. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it is possible that this is a structure break and we will start heading lower, and that the dollar Swiss, this was a structure break, and this will turn and eventually pop higher. So it said, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to predict anything. I'm just looking at what the chart's telling me, and so we'll see what happens. So, but at the moment, I'm not in anything. Last night, I was also talking about long positions I was in the Swiss yen and the pound yen. I did end up closing both of those positions last night, right after I made the video, because I didn't like what it was looking at. And that's turned out to be a good decision, because as you can see, price had collapsed back down to these lows. So I did exit these last night. Shortly after I made my video, so it was up in here, and I did end up taking some profit off the table here, and you can see on both of these, they're basically trading back inside these little sideways ranges. So I did want to update that. And what else? Euro CAD. Not really much going on right there, kind of trading sideways. Dollar Canadian, so if we look at another dollar pair, you can see dollar Canadian again on the news tried to move up this morning, came back towards these highs, but has since, stalled out and is basically still trading in this range. dollar yen. Again, basically, following the trend line here, but again, not really having a lot of follow through. It did move a little bit lower on the news this morning, but it's just basically not doing much. So overall, things are pretty quiet at the moment. Aussie Swiss is quiet. Everything's just kind of moving sideways right now. So not a lot going on, but I am watching the dollar pairs for potential price action here. And so let's see what goes on with all of these. All right. Hold on one sec, guys. Okay, so on to futures here. So let's take a look. Here's copper, and I was talking last night about wanting copper to move back towards after this bounce off the low end of this range. It's now moving back higher again. So we're right now right in the middle of this channel. So I'm not really interested in doing anything with copper right now. I'd like to, again, this is the cash chart, by the way, but I would like to see this move back towards this upper trend line, and then potentially look for a sell if that's able to hold. And again, at the moment, this really constitutes our swing right here in terms of market structure, right? So, whoops. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right now with copper. It's still in a downtrend, but it's not in any position right now where I probably want to trade it. Crude oil has just been consolidating at these lows. There is a trend line here on the shorter time frame that it's been respecting, but it's also now respecting these lows down here. So not really doing too much. It's really been moving sideways for the last couple of days. It really hasn't gone anywhere since Monday when this low was put in on Monday. So it's basically just moving sideways. So we'll see if this area holds, if we get a break lower and continue the downtrend. Otherwise, I'm looking for, you can see I have a price alert on my chart. That's what this white dotted line is above this structure high right here. Okay. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. This was the structure high that led to this low. So I'm looking, to see what price does once it gets, up to, if it does break through this trend line and move higher, this would be the area that I would need to see broken before I would consider the uptrend to taking hold. So in the meantime, it's just neutral, as it's not really doing too much. Natural gas, again, what I was looking at was, hopefully have this thing move back towards the trend line. Again, today, not really doing a heck of a lot. It's just drifting higher a little bit, but nothing very impulsive or impressive. So again, nothing really, in the time frames I trade, to do anything with natural gas right now. And then the DAX just continues to chug higher. I haven't had a place where I can enter this, though, at least since I've been watching today. So that is what it is, and we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. So again, these are the futures chart. This is the March natural gas, and again, it's definitely in a downtrend, but it's very quiet right now. It's unusually quiet, especially after a big news morning. Here's crude oil, and here's copper. So again, nothing too impressive on any of these right now in terms of trading opportunity. So I mentioned with copper on the upper and lower trend lines. I mean, we can easily draw this one. We can, again, waiting for copper to potentially get back to this trend line and then see what it does from there. And again, we've got this structure area sitting right there. So, all right. So it's pretty brief analysis today. I'm not saying there won't be any trades today, but it's pretty quiet. So, we'll see what happens. If there's any follow through. My biggest interest right now is in US dollar pairs to see if they can get a foothold in one direction or the other. That right now they're not. They're just moving sideways since the news came out. And in futures, to be honest, probably not expecting too much here. We'll keep an eye on things like natural gas to see if we can get something back to the downside. We do have, here's the 15-minute chart of the March contract, and we have this little substructure high as we move towards the trend line on the futures chart. So if we can get some break here, maybe there'll be a little short to take on natural gas. I don't expect to see really anything on crude oil. It's just kind of moving sideways. And on copper, kind of same thing. Unless we get a change, we are getting closer to the trend line here on the futures. This is the 15-minute March contract. So again, we get some kind of break below structure, then maybe there's a short. This is probably the most current substructure here on the 15-minute chart. Maybe we get something here, but at the moment, not really anything to do. So we'll be back later and see if there's if I ended up taking anything. But if we don't get anything, we don't get anything, and that's fine too. So, all right. So again, guys, make sure you smash that like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. Any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll talk to everybody later on. All right. Thanks.